About a week ago, the outages at CDK Global began impacting dealerships nationwide. So in times like this, we are, some of the best practices we're looking for dealers. Joining us now is Brooke Furniss, who is the founder of BZ Consultants Group. Brooke, thank you so much. You're probably a busy young lady these days for dealers that are reaching out saying, help us. We need help in this area. What do you recommend? First, what was your initial reaction when you heard the news about what was happening in the industry?
I was a little slow to the starting line on this one. I was actually on site with a dealer.
Okay.
And I had no idea. My phone was blowing up. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
And I looked down after I left my client. And I just go, oh my God, like this is insane what is happening right now.
Yeah.
So then I started reaching out to anyone that I knew had CDK products. And then even those that didn't, like, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's just been a little bit of a drinking from the fire hose, I think, for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think the key takeaways from this incident will be?
There's a couple things. First and foremost, I know that I've watched some of the other episodes you've done, actually all of the episodes you've done on this whole thing, and there's been a lot of good points, and I will echo some of those same sentiments that we've gotten so used to technology. We love AI. We love all this technology. I mean, I've got I don't know how much technology behind me right now.
Yeah.
So much technology, which is great. However, when that all craps out, what then? I was at a Starbucks recently in a hotel, and I get to the front of the line, and the gal said, oh, our systems are down. I go, well, do you want just my room number? She's like, no, I'll just give it to you for free. I go, well, do you want to get a calculator out? But when systems die, like people lose their mind, and
Totally.
It's like, no, I don't know what to do.
Right.
So I think that's the first one, is like, remember that as great as technology is, we have to have that human aspect. We've got to have backups, all these different things. And I see more and more, whether it's from a dealership perspective or OEM perspective, potentially, that we're going to say, let's not put everything in one basket, all eggs in one basket. Because if something goes out, it's not a good situation.
And the reason we want to talk to you is because you actually are, you're actually the ones that, or the one that keeps the vendors, intact and on the program, so to speak, with dealers, to ensure that those vendors are doing the right job. I don't know how far you get into their hardware security and such, and their software security. But that is something that more dealers now will be asking when they bring on a vendor, whether it be in marketing or whether it be in fixed ops or whatever area of the dealership it is how good is your security for your program, right?
Oh, for sure. And that's actually something any of the clients are watching right now. My onboarding is not an easy onboarding because we do so many different things. And one aspect of that is security. Like, how secure are you? And I say that with a little tongue in cheek, with sarcasm on it, because if the Pentagon can get hacked, OEMs and dealerships will be hacked. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's going to happen.
That's right.
So what have you done to protect yourself?
Right.
I was speaking with a friend recently, and they're having some of their dealer groups are getting a second DMS. It was like $125 a month, because that's the best $125 I can spend.
Yeah.
Because now I have as a backup, I'll use it. They were up and going in less than a day. That day they were up and going.
Okay.
So you're seeing really creative ways of like, how can we continue to do business based on state laws and everything? But that's been a big one, is are we training on the chance that something's going to go wrong? I know in the medical field, we did the same thing. Before I got in automotive, I was in the medical field, and we would train, okay, if something doesn't happen, or this goes out, or the power goes out, or what happens then? If we have to go back to analog, are we able to do that? And that is something I think a lot of us are taking away. And obviously the GLBA and all the FTC securities, that's huge. And not just, oh, we did it, we're good to go and move on. Like, this is a really, really big thing. And it is a matter of when, not if.
Well, I know that you consult dealers in the area of their marketing as well. And what are you telling your clients now? If they are a CDK dealer, there's a lot of concern out there from consumers. Hey, do they have my information? Is my social security number and date of birth and payments and credit information, everything else out there? What should a CDK dealer be communicating right now to their database?
That's a great question. I think it's going to come down personally to what the dealership wants to do. On one end of the spectrum, you have, or do we really want to bring more eyeballs to the fact that we were hacked? And then it's going to scare the customers off.
Sure.
At the same point is that you want to be transparent to say, hey, we can still do business. We can still all do this. I've seen non-CDK dealers be like, hey, over here, we didn't get hacked. Come over to us. So I've seen a whole lot of different things going on. But when it comes down to it for the dealership, I would say, where does your where do you want to go? Do you want to be way over the top and understand that the backlash that may come from that because we don't have all the information, or just like, hey, this is what happened. This is what is going to, moving forward, this is the process. You may have been used to this, and this is what the process is now.
Sure. Should there be a unified message among the staff in a dealership that when somebody walks in or calls in and through the BDC or through service, that if this comes up and the concern comes up, that it's a unified message, right? That says, here's where we stand on this. This is our take.
Couldn't agree more. That is, banding together will be the best thing we all can do right now to be like, okay, instead of pointing fingers or trying to go after different people, let's all come together and say, all right, whether it's in the dealership environment, whether it's in the vendor environment, everyone come together and like, this is our message. Because if the customer is already might be a little freaked out, like if you look at, how many hacks are happening all the time? We had Caesars with like 30 million, something like that. I think they negotiated down to 15. MGM, same thing, and they actually lost more. So there's all these things. So understand, hey, let's all have, to your point, a unified message of this is what's going on. Even if you have no update, you don't know anything, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I 100% commiserate with you. This is what we know. We don't need more of that. And we'll let you know as soon as we know more.
Do you think we'll see more of these attacks now that this has happened?
Oh, yeah. I jokingly, I think we all have to keep a folder of all the times our data is leaked somewhere, and there's some site, I have a folder that's just like one after another and constantly getting updates, whether it's through, a password protecting thing or from some other financial institute, be like, hey, your stuff's on the dark web. I'm like, my passwords are so out of control. How is someone getting my information? But it just happens so much, and I don't see that this train is going to slow down anytime soon. No, I know. I think there's even, they said there's even hackers out there now that are communicating through some of the lost information to consumers saying, hey, we are with the dealership or we're with the OEM and we'd like to engage with you as to what to do now and what have you. That in and of itself is this trolling situation where people go out and go, hey, maybe we can snag this consumer, into thinking that we're actually the dealer, when in reality, we can hack right into their system, right? It's nuts. Like, I don't know about you. I have seen a massive influx in spam callers calling me. Now, it doesn't come up as spam, but I obviously know these numbers, that there's no way that someone from a certain area code would be calling me. And I'm getting like 10 a day. And it's like all of a sudden it just skyrocketed. Like, I'm going through my clients, even when they're getting any type of bill, it's CDK ecosystem. It's like, okay, is this really from CDK?
Right.
Is it not? And so we're printing stuff out, really checking that from and to make sure it actually is from CDK or from wherever company it is, and looking it through, because it is all hands on deck right now for sure, Jim.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And you're right. They said that in these emails, it could look very official. It looks like it could come from the OEM or CDK or the dealer, themselves with their letterhead and the whole deal. But make sure that the number that you've got, they even said that on one of them, it sent you to a website that was all set up that looked like the dealer's website, and it wasn't the dealer's website. So it's really going to be hard to decipher between all of this. It's crazy.
100%, and we've seen so much sophistication. I was getting a lot of Facebook charges for a lot, or saying an invoice. It's like I shouldn't have any invoices. Well, when I dug into it and went down a rabbit hole, these hackers have become so smart that they're changing like the A in Facebook to an alpha character, a Greek alpha letter. And so it looks like Facebook. And so you really think it's that. And so you're seeing the same thing of just this, I'm going to use the same word again, but just so much sophistication on how far they'll go. Yeah,
no question about it. What do you recommend dealers do right now? Just communicate?
Breathe, first off. That's my first thing, like breathe in and out.
Right.
And we're all kind of at the mercy right now. So once again, have that communication with your staff, constantly keep your staff in the loop of like what's going on. They're not blindsided by it and adding fire to the fuel to the fire of like, well, I was told this. And if you're not taking the securities seriously, this hopefully is a wake-up call. It seems in our industry, it usually takes 3 to 4. On the fourth one, then people will start paying attention. Unless it's something this big, then now we'll pay attention. So this is not something to be taken lightly. I've had over many, many years, I've had dealerships get held up for ransom. It happens. So just really get your security in order as much as you can.
Absolutely. Brooke Furniss, founder of BZ Consultants. Thank you so much for jumping on at such short notice and helping dealers through this. So I know a lot of dealers look to you for advice, and so thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything y'all are doing. Thank you for having me on.
Great.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.